Hi, I'm Scott Huey, Chief Commercial Officer with Greenstar BCS. Recently, we've been asked to give our opinion on the importance of early phase project work. Are there ways to expedite the process? Can we go quicker? There's no doubt the energy transition has created a sense of urgency in the industry. But we also understand through decades of experience that early planning improves the probability of a successful project. So, is it still important to plan slow to go fast? I recently had the opportunity to raise this question to two industry peers that I respect a lot, David Zielinski and Keith Ackley, both managing consultants at Greenstar BCS. Let's hear what they had to say. David and Keith, good to see you both, and thanks for the time. What do we mean when we say the project delivery process?
Hello, and that's a really important question. But let's focus on the front-end loading process, which is the early stages of project definition as we move through the life cycle, leading up to a final investment decision. And typically, it starts with FEL 0, which is the screening of opportunities and selection of a new project that aligns with the overall business strategy. And then we move into FEL 1, which is setting the basic project parameters. So now you've got a location, you've got technology selection, you've got partners that are defined as part of FEL 1. FEL 2 is setting a specification for the project. And you've got basic data that you're collecting. You come up with flow sheets, you come up with a plot plan, you come up with heat material balance for the project, and then you move into FEL 3 or FEED, which is really getting the detailed definition, scope of work, execution plan, and a definitive schedule and cost estimate that supports a final investment decision before moving into detailed engineering and construction.
Hello, Dave and Scott. Think about the early FEL stages as basic risk management for the project, getting the cost-effective way to set the project up to make sure you have great cost and schedule outcomes. Setting the technology, setting the right scope of work, setting the right execution strategies, understanding the sensitivity of the economics of the project to the feedstocks or products. You may change that mix at this stage. And also setting up your partnerships or your financing strategies. This is the best time to do that and the most cost-effective time.
Okay, so we're aligned on the fundamentals. Are there any new risks brought on by the energy transition?
Yeah, I'm not sure that there are new risks, but there are probably some risks that are unique to the energy transition. And maybe the biggest one is around technology. And there are certainly some new technologies that are getting deployed. There are some technologies that have been deployed in other applications that are getting used now as part of new energy projects or the carbon reduction programs. And that's really where it's really important to have your front-end loading process well defined, and you know what the challenges are going to be, and you've got a plan for addressing them. But I guess I'd also like to hear what Keith has to say.
Well, to add to that, Dave, there are new participants in this space, and there are new feedstock providers or off-takers that have a different influence on how you might execute the project. There's a different risk around, if you're a developer, around the technical capability that the developer might have, whether that's in the actual technology risk or the project management risk. I think it's important that we make sure that we have the right team there. Certainly a good owner's consultant can help in that space, or your EPC contractor as well.
Thoughts? Let me add to that, Keith. Let's not forget about the contracting community. As you go through front-end loading, it's really to have a well-defined contracting strategy. You know what risks you're going to be asking the contractor to take at the end of the day, and you've got to remember to communicate with them. They need to understand where you're going, and they will have input to you along the way that can really help with your overall execution plan.
An additional thought is, there's a general sense of urgency in this area that because of limited feedstocks, we're already seeing pressure on feedstock pricing, offtake options, or of course, the carbon credit window is also an important issue that adds to the urgency. You can be urgent in identifying the risks in the early FEL stages, as long as you mitigate them or address them. You just can't ignore them. If you ignore them, they manifest themselves later in the project, and that's when it gets very expensive to address those risks.
We're frequently asked if the process can be expedited. What are your thoughts?
Of course, it starts with a plan. So that's what front-end loading is all about. It's having a plan for getting to a point where the project can move forward. A lot of times it really comes down to how fast can you make those key decisions that drive the project forward, your partners, your technology, your site location. And then it's also the key data. And I mean by that, geotech, the feedstock definition, the final products, those issues, and how do you get that key data firm so that you don't wind up recycling the project later on.
Remember, time is money, but that relationship changes exponentially over time. Delaying or making changes later in the project can be hugely impactful, and having a clear understanding about what isn't or is well defined, or what the risks associated if things change or if components change, and the impact if it does change. It's the whole idea of plan slow to go fast.
So there you have it. The importance of spending time early in a project to ultimately go fast. What are your thoughts? Let us know what you think. And as you navigate the energy landscape, reach out to us at Greenstar BCS. We'd love to hear from you. And until next time, all the best.